Hi everyone, and I'm here and I want to give you a quick update on our finances for the whole of 2022. And it's been quite an amazing year that we've just had. Let me first of all tell you about offerings. In 2022, our total offerings were £1,138,000, which is just amazing. That's the first time that our offerings have exceeded £1 million in a year, and it's a quite incredible figure. And actually that is £27,000 above the budget figure that we'd set ourselves, so it's even more amazing in terms of what has come in. And that means that our total income for 2022 was £1,485,000, including all the other things like gift aid and all that other stuff that comes in. And that's put us £34,000 above budget for income. So before I say anything else, I want to say, first of all, isn't God amazing? You know, one of the reasons that we're called Kerith is because of that story in the Old Testament of God providing for Elijah in the Kerith ravine. And God has once again provided for us as a people. And I'm just filled with gratitude to God that He really is Jehovah Jireh. He is our provider. He is the one who meets our needs individually and personally, and He's the one who meets our needs as a community. Let's be giving thanks to Him. But I also want to give a huge thank you to everyone who's given this year in the life of Kerith. I'm just so thrilled to be part of the leadership of such an amazing community of people who are just incredible generosity. I know that generosity flows from God's generosity to us, but as we flow it out, and you know, people do that in all sorts of ways, but one of the ways that we do that is with our finances and resources. And I just want to say I don't take any of it for granted. And if you've been part of that, whether you've given a large amount or just been able to give a small amount, the cumulative effect of that is incredible in what God does with it. So thank you so much to everyone who gave in 2022. And we knew that 2022 was going to be a challenging year. In 2021, we did a couple of things that seriously impacted our finances. We bought the warehouse in Farnborough. That cost us £1.2 million, and we've got a £1 million mortgage against that. But that has obviously added mortgage repayments and a whole lot of other costs to what we're doing. And we also took over the warehouse in Windsor and have taken on the full-time lease on that. And because of that, we knew that in 2022, the budgeted deficit, we were budgeting for a loss of about £235,000. A loss that we knew that as long as giving increased was going to decrease. Now we expected it in 2023 to be about £108,000 and then by 2024 to be about £35,000 of loss. So we could see the picture that was going to be going, and then we would move back into surplus. But we knew that at the start of 2022, that was what we were budgeting, a £230,000 loss. Well, incredibly, we didn't lose that much. Actually, at the end of the year, our loss was only about £76,000. So way better than we thought. And that's partly because income was up, as I said, was above where we were budgeting, and also because we had a really careful eye on all of our expenditure. And expenditure was significantly below budget. And the combination of those two meant that we had a loss of £76,000. Again, something to thank God for. Now, as I said at the beginning of 2022, we thought that the deficit for this year would be around £100,000. But actually, it's now looking like it's going to be significantly higher than that. There are three reasons primarily for that. First of all, in 2022, we gave all of our staff a cost of living increase. As we've seen the interest rates and everything else, you know, just food bills and energy bills being so high, we wanted to treat our staff well. So we gave a cost of living increase to our staff team. We've seen the rise in interest rates on the mortgage on the Farnborough building. And we've also seen rising gas and electricity costs for all of our buildings. And the combination of those three things means that this year, rather than looking at a loss of about £100,000, it's more like £180,000. Now, that isn't a disaster for us. In 2022, one of the other things we did was to sell a house that we owned in Bracknell. And we sold that for about £370,000. And that means that we have got reserves to cover that projected loss, not only through this year, but also our projected loss for next year. But I really want us to get back into a place of surplus. a place where, our income is exceeding our expenditure. We've deliberately put ourselves in this place. We took conscious decisions to be in this place, but I want us to get back to a place that we are in surplus, that we are, our income is exceeding our expenditure. And I want to have just 3 encouragements for us in 2023. The first one, let's not have any anxiety about this. God is our provider. It says in Haggai that the silver is mine and the gold is mine. God owns all of it, and he is more than able to provide for us. And let's not be anxious, but let's turn our anxiety into prayer. And I'm going to be leading us into a new level of prayer for finances in 2023, not only as we look at our general fund, but particularly as we look at redeveloping the warehouse in Farnborough and raising the finance that we need to do that as well. So expect a lot more focus on prayer for finance in 2023. That's the first thing to do. The second one, I don't want anyone to feel under any pressure or any condemnation because of what's going on. Maybe you're in a position that you go, I'm struggling to give. That's hard for me. I want to encourage you, if you're in a tough place at the moment, if the cost of living increases are hitting you, make use of our cost of living fund as a church. It says the evidence of grace being on the early church is that there were no poor people amongst them in their community, and that would be my heart for us as Kerith. And if you're struggling with your heating bills, if you're struggling to put food on the table, if you're making decisions about whether you heat your home or feed, or if you're choosing to feed your kids and not feed yourself, please plug into the resources that we have as a church. We have help. We have a fund to help people. We also have a whole lot of tools that can help people to get out of debt and manage finances better and learn new life skills and do all sorts of those things. So please, if that's you, talk to your site leader, talk to your small group leader, and get the help that you need. But finally, I want to encourage all of us to consider our giving in 2023 and think, hey, we've got this deficit. Could I be part of the solution to removing that deficit, to getting rid of it? There's a verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 9 where Paul says this, "Now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. You'll be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion, and through us your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God." And we know that God pours resources and finances into us. God blesses us in order that we can be a blessing. And I want to encourage all of us to just be thinking about, where are we sowing our finances at this time? The Bible says that we reap what we sow. And we are such a generous community. And I just want to encourage us to continue and even grow in that grace of giving, that grace of generosity. So, in summary, 2022 has been quite a remarkable year as we've seen God provide for us and meet our needs. He's going to do the same in 2023. But he's calling each one of us to play our part. So let's pray. Let's be praying for God to break in amazingly. We have a history as a church of amazing breakthroughs. I think at one time, we got a phone call and somebody had left a legacy of £1 million to us as a community. Let's pray for those sorts of breakthroughs and God to move, God to help us to save money this year and all of that sort of stuff. If you're struggling, please make use of the resources that we have. I don't want us to have any poor among us. And let's all be considering what we personally can do. I actually think when it comes to this deficit, the money is in the church. The money is with us. It's not needing to come from outside. God has already given it to us. And we just need to release it into his kingdom and all that he wants to do with us. So I just want to finish by saying thank you so much to everyone who's given. Let's be excited by what God has done. And let's be excited by what he is going to do.